Hello, Professor. My name is William Slattery. I'm just doing a video journal on product differentiation and Porter's 5 Forces, which is video journal number 3. Through the lens of product differentiation and course lectures on Porter's 5 Forces, I hope to discuss the strategies that 4 different companies have employed. Although these companies compete in different industries, they all face a similar dilemma. How do we stand out when competition is fierce and customers are afforded several choices? In an interview with journalist Andrew Sorkin, CEO Reed Hastings highlighted the importance of having a fluid and flexible strategy. When discussing Netflix's decision to pivot on allowing advertising on the platform, he noted the folly of a company being too reliant on a single strategy. Instead believes a company needs to adapt to changes in consumer preferences, competitors, and market conditions. Reed Hastings' thoughts adhere closely to Porter's 5 Forces, especially as it relates to the threat of substitutes and competition. As relates to the streaming industry, customers can switch relatively easy between several platforms due to the fact that switching costs are very low, and there are a number of different substitutes such as Disney Plus, Hulu, and Paramount Plus. Because of this, Hastings is aware that Netflix cannot rest on its merits and believes that flexibility can be a competitive advantage as it allows a company to respond to new opportunities and challenges. Throughout his interview, Reed Hastings stresses that differentiation does not simply have to be involving a unique product, but also having a mindset that enables a firm to constantly evolve with an ever-changing business landscape. Companies that fail to adapt often lose relevance and risk going the way of the dinosaurs. In addition to Netflix, we are also asked to examine how Aldi is not only strong at cost leadership, but also product differentiation in a more subtle way. Traditionally, the German company has molded its business strategy around offering customers lower prices through its private labels, products, and no-thrill shopping experience. In relating the German firm to Porter's 5 Forces, Aldi's strategy helps to reduce the bargaining power of suppliers because the company mostly makes use of its own brand labels. As a result, suppliers have less leverage. In addition, Aldi also lowers the threat of competition by offering customers a unique value proposition, consistent low prices without the bells and whistles of a traditional grocery store. Nevertheless, despite this business model proving to be successful, Aldi has chosen to no longer simply be reliant on its cost leadership, as mentioned in the video case analysis. The German grocery store is working to expand its product offerings to appeal to a broader customer base. The thought process behind the strategy is that Aldi hopes that it will attract more customers who want both lower prices as well as healthier organic and/or specialty products. Through this flexibility, Aldi is showing that it is willing to blend cost leadership with differentiation as it has added new features to its product offerings without betraying its reputation of affordability to make it more attractive to against competitors. This move should prove critical considering that the grocery industry is extremely competitive, with substitutes such as Walmart, Costco, and Trader Joe's constantly lurking. Although another case study that adds an interesting perspective on the topic of differentiation is Nordstrom's, which is not trying to compete on price like Aldi is. Instead, Nordstrom has traditionally centered its strategy on superior customer service, premium product offerings, and the overall customer shopping experience. At first glance, Nordstrom's strategy of operating luxury stores, discount Nordstrom Rack locations, online options, and most recently the resale business seems to lack cohesion. It is important to remember that the avenues that the company is competing in is the result of changes in consumer behavior. Considering the highly competitive nature of the retail clothing industry, there are a number of substitutes for customers as they can shop at department stores, specialty clothing shops, online stores, or fast fashion brands as well. As a result, Nordstrom is aware that it cannot merely compete solely in the luxury clothing segment of the market, but rather also in the environmentally sustainable and affordability segments as well that younger customers are increasingly favoring. By entering the resale clothing market, the company is differentiating itself from traditional department stores, while simultaneously appearing environmentally friendly and giving customers an added reason to enter their stores. In competing in this segment of the market, Nordstrom knows that the customers will use the store credit they have earned from reselling their used clothes on items in their stores. This in turn improves customer loyalty. In addition to appealing to a wider range of customers, Nordstrom's is adhering to Porter's 5 forces by both diminishing the threat of competitors and by reducing buying power, as strong customer loyalty often results in customers being less likely to switch brands that they feel emotionally connected to. Finally, the last company we were asked to analyze is T-Mobile. Considering that the major companies in the wireless industry offer smartphones, data plans, and nationwide coverage, companies need to be creative as to how they differentiate themselves from rivals. As a result, T-Mobile CEO Mike Sievert is focused on standing out by working to develop strong customer loyalty and a great customer experience. In an interview with CNBC, Sievert explained that the brand is working hard to position itself as the Un-carrier in the industry, meaning that it wants to be viewed as unique when compared to Verizon and AT&T. To accomplish this goal, T-Mobile has focused on simpler pricing, fewer hidden fees, and more customer-friendly policies. Looking at T-Mobile from the perspective of Porter's 5 forces, the customer's focused strategy is critical due to the high buyer power available in this cutthroat industry. Within the wireless arena, it is very easy for customers to switch providers. By offering customers better value, T-Mobile is hoping that customers will be less likely to switch providers and will in turn gain market share. T-Mobile's strategy is very different from most brands that simply try to compete on price. Instead, the company wants to feel like they are joining an innovative and transparent company that places the customer's interest at the forefront. Looking at the 4 examples together, it is clear that differentiation is critical, even in industries where the products seem similar. Although these case companies highlight the reality that differentiation can take many forms, it is clear that standing out from the pack is critical when dealing with competition, substitutes, suppliers, buyer power, and the threat of new entrants. Thank you.